Nobody steals home anymore.
You don't see that anymore. And if it is, it's on the ESPN highlight reel.
Right.
It's the play of the day.
I think the last guy who had any success really stealing home, and this goes back a long time, is Rod Carew.
Oh, yeah.
He used
I remember
to do
that.
It. But other than that, you rarely see it unless it's on a double steal. You just don't see that anymore. And I'll bet you Ty Cobb came in and spikes up, too.
Knowing him, no question about it.
No doubt.
9:23 right now. Welcome back to the program. As you can see, the one and only Larry Cotlar joining us in studio, talking about the world of sports. And there was a news item, sports item that came down yesterday that you gave us a hint at what you're going to talk about. That one, you're kidding.
Yeah, two of them, as a matter of fact. The first one, of course, the Hy-Vee Classic, the Big Four Classic.
Where all four of the big teams in Iowa play.
Right. Gone after this year.
It's gone.
Gone after 20.
What was the reasoning behind that?
Well, the reasoning behind it, University of Iowa pulled out of it because they scheduled, since they got into the Classic, two more Big Ten teams have come in, Maryland and Rutgers, and now they said there was a clause in there that said if they got up to 22 conference games that they couldn't do this anymore because of scheduling reasons. I'm a little skeptical in the sense of this. Look, they play teams like Savannah State, and they play teams that are non-conference teams that nobody really cares about. I wish they would keep up the rivalry with Drake and Northern Iowa. And Gary Rima is like me on this. We both didn't like the Big Four Classic, particularly because it would cost Northern Iowa and Drake home games in the series. Like every year you'd either play Iowa State at home or Iowa at home. Then you had the Big Four Classic, and when let's say you're Northern Iowa going up against Iowa State and Drake going up against Iowa as it was last year, the fan base is going to be mostly behind the big schools.
Right.
So you're really at a disadvantage. But at least people got to see the four schools.
So they're just going to eliminate it altogether?
They're eliminating it altogether.
Wow.
Now, the kicker on this, I was wondering, because I saw the statements from both Brian Harden over at Drake and the AD over at James Harris, I think it's James or Mr. Harris over at Northern Iowa, talking about how disappointed they were. But I was curious what Iowa State's reaction was going to be to this. And Jamie Pollard had a statement yesterday and said, well, we'd love to continue our rivalry with Northern Iowa and Drake as long as they're willing to come to Hilton Coliseum. So they don't want to come to Drake or Northern Iowa either. Yeah, so... But the Classic is gone, and I don't know how much people liked it. I think they did. They used to pack the place.
How long has the Classic been going on?
2012.
2012.
So not that long.
No,
it's like a long tradition.
New.
Yeah, it's not a long tradition.
Okay.
But it's gone as of this year. So this year it'll be Iowa State and Drake and Northern Iowa and Iowa.
Okay.
And then after that,
if it's going to go out, I think that'd be the appropriate way for it to go out with teams that are close to one another, proximity-wise. So again, it'll be this side of the I-35 and then the east side of I-35.
Yep. And another thing that Iowa and Northern Iowa players won't be doing is playing in the primetime basketball league in the summer.
That's gone too.
That's gone now.
Now
it's history, and again, the statement I saw from Fran McCaffrey talked about the fact that kids now have to do conditioning, they have summer school, too many obligations, and now that coaches and players can have contact throughout 12 months, which is what they couldn't do when this started.
Okay.
That's changed the dynamic, and I think the whole purpose of these summer leagues, and the Cap City League, by the way, here in Des Moines, which features Drake and Iowa State players, will continue. The whole dynamic behind that is that it gives these guys something to do to keep fresh with their skills and get out and play a little basketball. It's not great ball. It's not. There's no defense play.
But you're playing ball, so you're staying in the routine. You're staying in the rhythm.
But somebody can get hurt. Seth Van Diest years ago for Drake, that started his injury train. He injured both shoulders, and that started with the Cap City League. So I get that. And it's not the end of the world. I just think it's fun for fans to be able to go see, Iowa, Northern Iowa, Drake, and Iowa State players. I know, for example, with Drake and all these new players coming in are going to be playing in the Cap City League. I guarantee a lot of people will head out to Valley Southwoods to see the new guys.
And to get used to seeing them and getting used to how they play.
Yeah, the games aren't great. They're like 140 to 130 because, again, they play no defense. It's just run up and down the court. But in Iowa City, the tradition is gone. Tom Davis started that tradition in both places.
Okay.
Started in Iowa City, and then when he came to Drake, he started it here.
That's awesome. All right.
All right. U.S. Open continues today, and only 4 players started the day under par.
That's it?
That's it. Under par.
Who's that?
Dustin Johnson, who's one of the favorites coming off the FedEx Championship. Also, Ian Poulter, Russell Henley, and Scott Piercy at -1. Zach is at +3. Ricky Fowler's at +3. But check out some of the names who are down on the leaderboard. Phil Mickelson, +7.
+7. They were talking about him doing really well in this one.
No, hasn't happened so far. And check out this group at +8. How about Jordan Spieth, Ernie Els and Tiger Woods at 78 +8.
+8, all those guys?
So they're already 9 back of the leader.
Are they going to be able to make that? That's a lot to make up.
It's a lot to make up.
You're going to have to do incredibly well. You're going to have Eagle City, USA, and then have Bogey City on the other side.
Yep. Jason Day, who actually was a guy I was going to pick, is at +9. Rory McIlroy is at +10.
No way.
Yes, he's at 80. +10.
80's a little better than what you do, Larry.
Just a little.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's a guy by the name of Scott Gregory who fired the worst round ever at a U.S. Open. He fired at 92 yesterday.
I'm cheering for that guy. What's his name?
Scott Gregory.
Scott Gregory's my new favorite.
You only have to cheer for him for one more day because he ain't making the cut.
All right, well, he's one of us. I like that. Okay.
He is one of us. We got some things you already alluded to it with the racing going on.
Yeah, trucks tomorrow, Xfinity on Sunday.
That's exactly right. You had Brett Moffitt in this morning.
Yes,
he's obviously a local favorite. We always pull for him.
Yeah, so Brett's racing on a Saturday, as in tomorrow, and then Michael Annette will be racing on Sunday.
Yep, that's exactly right. Tonight, the Des Moines Menace are in action. The Menace have quietly gone to 6-0 on the season. They're one of 2 teams in the PDL undefeated. One of 2 teams. Tonight, they play, and I was talking to Alan Marcino on the radio show yesterday, the head coach, and he didn't even know the nickname of the team they're playing tonight. Not that it matters. They're playing the Nebraska Bug Eaters.
The Bug Eaters, yeah.
The Bug Eaters FC Football Club.
And we talked about that. That was their real name.
That's their name.
Yeah, it was the Cornhuskers used to be called the Bug Eaters years ago.
And then the Thunder Bay Chill come in tomorrow night at 7:30. Both games at 7:30. There'll be fireworks after both games. So people want to head out and drink some fluid and go out and watch some great.
At least the name will be chill.
That's right.
The weather won't be chill.
Right. That's the arch rivals, by the way. Between the Menace and the Thunder, they have accumulated the last 11 titles. Real quick, Iowa Barnstormers tomorrow night, 7:05, and clinch the #1 seed throughout the entire IFL playoffs with a win over Cedar Rapids. Just consider this: the Barnstormers 10-3, Cedar Rapids is 3-10, and the Barnstormers have already beaten them twice.
They should be in good shape.
They should be in good shape.
You doing the game?
Yes.
Okay, where can people follow you doing the game?
1040 WHO.
That works.
Yep.
That's awesome. There you go. Cotlar and Company, Thursdays, 5 to 6 p.m., 1350 ESPN Radio, right here in Des Moines. Thank you, Cop Man.
Just can't get rid of me. I'm just everywhere. I'm also doing Dowling games on Iowa Catholic Radio. So
perfect. So he's everywhere. He's everywhere.
That's right.
Like Chevrolet Fair.
Like Chicken Man.
There you go. 9:31.